That's the first time I do something like that. Usually I'm behind the camera.
Yeah.
I think it would be good for me just to be in it as well.
Face to
Because
face.
I push people as well to be like, you know, to step out of their comfort zone. I don't do it. I'm like,
yeah.
I feel
so
I
now
have to do
you have to
And
push
people,
yourself.
Yeah, people told me like,
why don't you get in the video?
Yeah, they wanna see
Yeah.
me.
Oh, I feel honoured.
Yeah,
I'm the first. Wow, this is so
ever.
exciting.
Come
This is
on.
wonderful.
With the usual question I ask first.
Yes.
Which is, who are you?
I'm Marni Garfunkel.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I'm Luca. Where are you from?
I am from North London, a little place called Holloway Road. More specifically Upper Holloway, which is within Islington North. So we recently won Jeremy Corbyn as our MP. So yeah, I think moving to Bristol, my life is very different here to how it was in London, and I love it, but I do, yeah, it's my home back there.
When did you move here?
About 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mum grew up in Bristol, and I used to come here a lot as a kid for Christmas and stuff. And then when I was about 14, 15, I started coming down more like on my own with my friends, and I made a load of friends here. And then I decided I didn't want to go to university. So I thought I still need to do something with my life. So I was like, let me make the move.
Go to Bristol and
here I am.
And did you move here like by yourself or like with your mom? Like, okay.
Yeah, I moved on my own.
But you knew like, people here.
I knew people, and I've still got my aunties and my grandma. So yeah, it's like my home away from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go back to London often, or?
I don't go nearly as much as I'd like to. I find it quite hard to take time off work to go back to London because I don't really feel like it's a priority that I make time for. And then suddenly 4 months have passed and I realise I haven't seen my parents or my brother or my cat or my grandma, and I'm like, I think it's time to go home now.
But I think like once you, I don't know, the first like couple of years, you don't go back home like as often.
Yeah, where are you from?
Italy.
Italy, do you go?
Now I do go back like every 3-4 months.
Yeah.
But the first like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, it was just like once a year.
It's hard as well. I think when you build up a life for yourself that you enjoy so much, as I've said, like my life in London is so different to how it is here. And I find it quite hard to leave Bristol. I need a good, like a good reason, like a flight booked to make me leave. Otherwise I just get so distracted and caught up in the wonders of this city. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's amazing. What's now the big differences between like London and Bristol and London? What is it that you like about Bristol?
I think in Bristol I have so much more access to outside spaces. Obviously you do in London as well, but I live 10 minutes. I live a 10-minute walk from here, from this like gorgeous space.
Central, right?
In London I have a park next to my house, but it's a tiny little box park with a football pitch and like a concrete playground for kids, you know. And then you walk about half an hour and you get to Hampstead Heath, which is like one of the bigger parks in London. Still not that big. Still, you know, it's big. It's a gorgeous place.
View,
it does have a good view, but not as good as this.
Yeah,
it's got from Parliament Hill you can see all over the London skyline. And it takes so much longer to travel everywhere. In Bristol I can have like 5 different sets of plans in one day. Have an appointment, go see a friend, go do something else, go to work, go see a friend after that. In London it's like it takes me 2 hours to get to my friend's house in Harrow.
Yeah,
you know?
It's hard. Every time I go there I go like,
and it costs me £20 to do anything.
Yeah, it's just like breathing, like
breathing. It costs the air costs money in London.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And then every time I go there to visit my friends, it's like, we need to walk like half an hour, and then we need to get the tube. They need to walk either 20 minutes. It's like,
I don't want to do this. Like, and then it's like, oh, can we not just drive? And then you see how long the car journey is. It takes the exact same amount of time, if not more. Yeah, it's just, it's soulless. Like, it's so soulless. I think when I was in London as a kid in school, it was fun because it was like I had all my friends and we weren't going out and getting pissed at that age, you know what I mean? It was like you could go out and do your fun stuff because you're a 13-year-old innocent little child. And then when you get to 16, 17, you want to start going out and doing stuff and seeing people and meeting people and having your experiences. It's just not possible in London to do unless you have a lot of money. And yeah,
I guess that's why there's a big differences between like, I don't know, like rich people and like poor people.
Massively.
There is not much in between.
But yeah, I think
you either like, you know,
there's a massive divide, and even myself as someone who grew up fairly middle class, the levels of like the wealth in London, it's such a spectrum. Do you know what I mean? You have people who will be so out of touch with reality, and you have like everyone, and they're all in the same school in one area because it's so diverse. And it's so interesting.
Yeah.
It is such a mixing pot, and I love it for that. But yeah, I don't know.
You reckon you're gonna stay here in Bristol?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really imagine myself moving back to London permanently at this current point in my life, unless I was to suddenly win the lottery.
Yeah. Would you not consider moving outside the UK?
Yes, all the time. I think about it all the time. I hate this country.
You travel.
Yeah, I've travelled not as much as I'd like to, but
because I was like, let me see who I'm.
Yes,
Like, I don't know any.
Yeah, I need to know a little bit about.
Yeah, I usually like, you know, obviously like people, a lot of like creatives want to get involved in this project as well. So I see like their profiles, I kind of like know
what they're into.
Yeah, what they're into.
Yeah.
Like for you, I was very excited about.
Yeah, that is one of my things. So I'm at the moment just working as much as possible to try and save up and go traveling again. I was supposed to be in the video, but I was in Miami. I was supposed to be in Southeast Asia last year around November. I had my flight booked, and I ended up not being able to go because I have a lot of like chronic health issues that meant that I couldn't get travel insurance.
Okay.
So I had to stay. So I've just been trying to make the most out of the UK.
Yeah.
But I've got an X-ray tomorrow at the BRI, and things are slowly working towards the direction of being able to like get all of the medical definitions and diagnoses that I need to, so that I can get insurance, so that I can go traveling.
What's going on, if I can ask?
So I have fibromyalgia, which I never really know how to explain it. It's a chronic sort of inflammatory disease that I should know how to explain it better than I do, but it basically just means that I'm tired all the time. I have a lot of like
fatigue,
aches and pains, fatigued. I'm really sensitive to light. I'm really sensitive to temperature, so I can go from being really hot to being freezing cold.
It's like good spot there, and I feel like
it is sunny. It is hot today, but I'm in my white tee and my sunnies. And it affects quite a lot. It affects my quality of sleep. So even if I get 9-10 hours of sleep, I'm still tired. I don't feel refreshed. It's great at 21 having something that like from the outside you look like a normal person, and then you're not. But people don't really take it as seriously as they would if I was walking around in a boot because I'd broken my leg. People would be like, "Oh my God, here, have this chair." But I'm stood up on the tube and my feet are really hurting, and no one knows that I want to sit down, and I'm not going to ask someone for this seat.
Kind of like suffering.
I
really hope it's gonna. You're gonna get like, you know, this thing sorted.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's heading that way, and it's quite a new like diagnosis. It's only really come about in the past like 10-20 years, so there's still a lot of research that is yet to be done on it, and there's not really a cure or a treatment for it at the moment, other than like rest and exercise and a good diet, which is quite hard to follow when you have like raging ADHD. But I try my best. I do what I can.
I think that's the whole part. I try like what you can. And try to live as healthy as you can in a way.
Exactly.
Even if it's hard. So what is that you do for a living? Like,
so I work in a restaurant, a sort of Mediterranean bistro, French, Spanish kind of food. Lots of wine. Bartender. Do a bit of waitressing here and there. And lots and lots of wine, which I get to drink for free every night, which is wonderful. I can't complain. What more could you want out of a job?
Free wine. Plus the salary.
It's excellent. Yeah, no salary yet.
Yeah.
No salary yet. One day.
And do you enjoy what you do, or is that what you want to do, or you want to do?
No, I don't think it is what I want to do, but I think the more time I spend in the hospitality industry, the more I can see myself spending the rest of my life in it. At first, I started it when I was like 16. The first job I had was behind a bar, and I was like, I don't like doing this, but I'm good at it, and I get money, and it's pretty easy once you know what you're doing. And then I just kind of kept doing it, and the more new places I started working in, the more people I started meeting that I actually had really genuine connections with, because almost everybody in hospitality is on the same sort of weird brain wavelength. And I've made some really lifelong friends. Shout out Phoebe, shout out Boca Bar, and I think it does mean a lot to me, like going into work and seeing these people that actually care about you, because it's not that typical office environment where everyone has to act professional. It's the complete opposite of that, you know what I mean?
To be honest, I've worked a few years in hospitality, and I loved it. It was just like, best time ever.
Physically, it's very exhausting.
Very exhausting, tiring.
And it does knock the life out of me if I do like a double shift.
Yeah, the thing is, you're always there like the whole day, like 12-hour shift.
Run off your feet, you don't eat a single thing, you forget to drink water. Yeah,
if you hang out with the people that you work with, you talk about like your job.
Yes,
like,
I
used to work at Pho, the Vietnamese restaurant.
Nice.
It was like a quite big.
Not nice, actually. They're trying to sue everyone, aren't they, for using the name Pho? Any restaurant in the UK that tries to put that in their name, they've legally copyrighted it or something. It's a name for Vietnamese food. How can you copyright that? Like, it's so stupid. It's insane.
If
you call someone gnocchi.
What
the fuck? You can't do that.
It's crazy.
So stupid.
But anyway, it was a good time. It was very intense.
Yeah.
Like, we're just hanging out, like living there literally like 12 hours every day.
Yeah.
Going out with them as well. So we're talking about Pho. But it was, we had a great time.
Yeah, it is good. I think one part of the job I do struggle with is the customer side of things.
Yeah.
So I have autism and I also have ADHD, and people don't really tell when they first meet me because they kind of counteract each other in a way that makes me appear normal to the naked eye. And then once you get to know me, you understand I'm really fucking strange. And so at work, it's quite difficult to not show that and to not and to keep my mask on all the time, because I'm serving people who have a lot of money and they have a lot of pride, and you just have to be aware of that, you know what I mean? And sometimes I can joke around with them and they like it, and then sometimes I worry I've stepped on their toes and they really hate me and they're like, can she stop talking to us?
Who cares if they,
who cares,
I mean, like,
if they don't like me, they don't have to come back.
You can't really think of what other people think of like
That's
you.
I will always be unapologetically myself, and if they have a problem with that,
never be happy because you think of other
pick yourself apart.
Like you just
embrace it.
Be you.
Embrace yourself.
That's it.
Unconditionally. I had a sort of business idea with a friend that I used to work with, who is actually coming up to the 2-year mark of her sobriety. And after she went sober, we both sort of thought like, working in the hospitality industry as someone who doesn't drink is quite challenging, and serving people alcohol all day and being around drunk people and having conversations with people that might make you want to drink more because they're just dicks.
First of all, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's so easy to access.
It's really hard to avoid it.
And we had the idea that we would open a bar together, as like completely sober, alcohol-free bar. And I quite like the idea of that, just somewhere people can go, and because pubs are such a British part of our society, you know, it's where people go to socialise, and like during lockdown that was one of the hardest things, was pubs being shut because you couldn't go to the pub for a fucking pint with your friends.
You guys love
and talk about stuff, don't we just? I barely drink, but you'll always find me in the pub, you know.
Like
and that's the thing, is like the nice thing is you can go and not drink, but it's just not that common.
Yeah.
You know, I sometimes will go to the pub and I'm actually not drinking today, and I'll just have a can of Coke or something, and you're still there doing the same thing and having the same conversations that you would, but you're not continuously going up and getting another drink and getting fucked, you know. So I think a space for sobriety and a space for people who are coming out of addiction and trying recovery for the first time maybe, and they still want to go out, but being in a bar or being in a pub around alcohol is too triggering for them.
It's a good. I mean, it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Would you do like mocktails or something?
Yeah,
or not
mocktails,
even something that,
I think,
like juice or something.
Fake beer.
Yeah.
Fake beer.
You think that
non-alcoholic beer,
can
that kind of thing, and then
remind them of booze?
I don't know. I think I've had like my brother, for example. He struggled with alcohol issues in the past, and he was recently working in a pub, and he decided to leave because it just wasn't good for him to be around alcohol 24/7. But he drinks non-alcoholic beer, and he really enjoys it. And if that's what you get your buzz off, that's what you know what I mean. If you're replacing one thing with another, and some people do find it quite triggering because it's like they have that non-alcoholic beer, and then they're like, oh, that's got 0.5% of alcohol in it, and
it's got, like,
I want a bit more, you know. And I'm gonna have a real beer. So I think everyone's different, and everyone deals with that stuff in their own ways. But either open a bar like that somewhere, or just fucking move to like Thailand and open a little beach shack on the beach, do loads of cocktails, and
different lifestyle,
run it out of a little cooler.
Do you
or both?
Do you see yourself more like here, like in the UK, or like in the nature and change your life? Like for me, like for example, I always like dreamt of being let's say like in Thailand, that you're like there's nature and the beach, but then I know that like deep down I need the like like the social kind of part of the city. I like the concrete kind of thing as well as that, of course. So like maybe like something in between, or
I really enjoy being in the countryside. So I've spent a lot of time in Somerset, just down the road, you know. And I love being in the countryside. I love being away from civilization and the only thing around you being fields. But after a few days, I go a bit insane.
That's the thing. Like, it's nice for a bit to disconnect.
So I don't drive, so I don't know if I would be able to live somewhere like that. Maybe in the suburbs of a city. But I hate suburbia. It's so scary.
It's a bit of a...
I don't know. I think my grandma lived in France when I was younger, and I spent a lot of time going to see her. And I think at that sort of age, it's quite nice to go and do that and live and retire somewhere sunny. And she's now moved back to Bristol. I don't really know where I see myself. I have thought about moving to like Australia and New Zealand, and then I've thought about the fact that I would be more than 24 hours away from my mum at all times.
But these places, they're far.
She's my best friend, and like at the moment it's like I can call her whenever I want, and I would be able to do that at the same in Australia or New Zealand. But if I was really going through it and something happened, I can get on a coach and I can be in London in 3 hours. That easy. Is like, you have to spend $1,000 and it's boiling hot and there's spiders and you know.
Huge.
I don't know where I'd see myself ending up.
Can I ask you how old you are?
21.
21.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with social media in general?
Oh, this is a good question. So I deleted TikTok about a year ago. I deleted Snapchat recently because I was at a festival and I was barely on my phone. It was dead majority of the time. But when it was alive, every time I went to take a photo, I had no storage. So I thought, okay, what can I delete off my phone that I don't need? I thought, just grow up, delete Snapchat. I never use it. So that's gone. Instagram. Why did I delete it? I just felt like this
spending too much time on
typical, like just scrolling and getting into a little rabbit hole and then realizing you've spent an hour scrolling down your phone and you've learnt nothing and you can't sit through a film and yeah, I was like, why am I doing this? And again, it took up loads of storage, so I was just like, delete. I've got Instagram Reels, haven't I?
yeah. But still, it's like you got rid of two.
Yeah. So I use Instagram, but the more I use it, I hate my phone at the moment.
Yeah.
I use it to text people mostly. I don't really spend much time scrolling on Instagram or shopping.
Do you feel like you're addicted to your
my phone? I think I definitely have been very addicted to my phone. And yeah, I think I probably am. Like when I put my phone down, or when I lose my phone or something, it's fine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I will want to find it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Like...
You panic when
shit. But your heart drops, and it's like, oh god, what the fuck? Like, it's not heroin. Yeah. You don't need it. Yeah.
Would you be able to do like a week without phone?
I think I would like to try it, definitely. Yeah.
It's hard though.
But I just think we've become so reliant on our phones.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I think, when was it? I don't remember when it was, but like a week ago or something, I was out and my phone died. And I think I was supposed to be calling someone to come and pick me up and give me a lift. I then realised I didn't have a bank card on me because I'm so used to having my Apple Wallet. And I was like, oh, I now have to walk home for like 50 minutes because I can't get a lift and I can't pay for the bus.
Yeah,
And it's lucky that I live in a city and it was daytime, you know what I mean? But we've become so reliant on our phones to the point where I think about like, how did my mum live her life at this age without, like, how did people call each other and meet?
Before, like,
you know, it was all so different.
You didn't have that, like, obviously you didn't need that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now that we kind
advanced.
of, like, we have that, it's hard to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
But, I feel, I don't know, I think it's a bit fucked up, the whole, like, social media thing as well, like,
and kids... Now, it's insane.
I was born with that.
Yeah, so I've served tables in restaurants, and I've gone over to tables, and these kids have just been glued to their phones.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them what they want to eat, and their mum will be like, yeah. Ask Chat. She doesn't know what she wants, so he's going to decide for her.
Yeah, great. Do you use it?
No, I really dislike it. Yeah. I've used it, I would say, about 7 times. Since it came out. I used it to help me write like a formal email because I'm not like I don't do business stuff online, you know what I mean? All of the work that I do is in person. So writing formal stuff, I just used it to help me like make sure it sounded coherent.
Yeah.
And then we used it to like develop a picture of like something, and then found out about all of the detriment that it has on the fucking environment, and I was like, oh my god, no. Just no. And I know people who use it for their dissertations and for their university work, and they haven't written a single one of their own essays this year because they've just been using Chat. So many of my friends, and I'm like, guys, you're literally in 30 grand debt. This is why I didn't go to university. You're in 30 grand debt, but you're not even doing your essays. You're getting a robot to do it for you. Crazy. Like,
the robot is graduating.
Yeah. Did you see they've accepted a robot into a university?
Really?
I don't remember where it was. Really
what do you
weird.
Mean?
So an AI found the like application process online for a university in, I want to say, Denmark.
Smashed it.
And applied and passed the interview process, and the university came back and they were like, we don't actually have anything that says you must be a human being to attend our university. It's
like a click, show me that you're not
Yeah. They don't have that. There's no reCAPTCHA around here. And so, so this AI has now been accepted into the university and is going to be like studying alongside students. Yeah. Really weird. Really weird.
The fun part.
Ooh.
Do you wanna tell me anything that like you're struggling with at the moment, or that you struggled with like in the past and now you're not struggling with it anymore? Anything could be.
So actually, when you said where do you see yourself in the future, that for me is a very big question that I don't really think about, When I was about 16, 17, around that time, I was really struggling with my mental health and I was really suicidal. And I sort of said to myself that I wasn't going to live past 18. And then I did. And now I'm just sort of winging it because I didn't really have a plan. And everyone's like, oh, you know, they want to do this when they get older. And if they don't do that, they're going to fall back on this plan. And I never had that. And then I started working in a job that I didn't really want, but I just went into it. And now I'm still doing that. And I'm sort of like, is this where I want to be? Is that where I want to be? Do I want to be in this country? No. And I just don't know. And I just take it all as it comes. And I think that's just how I'm going to do it.
You and other like 99% of the population feel the same.
Yeah.
You're not alone with this. It's, I think like nobody knows what they actually want in life, and the future is scary for everyone. There are a few people that are like, they just since they were like a kid, they know what to do. Like, they want to be like a doctor, for example. They're studying to do that. They become a doctor.
And they've got their head set on that.
Yeah, but like majority of people don't know that. I think it's you're not alone.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you think, obviously the future is something like a question mark kind of thing. But if you think of like happiness, not right now, like you and yourself in the future, like what, like I don't know.
What does that look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Oh, good question. Being on a beach with the sun shining, but I'm not too hot, and the sand isn't bothering me, and I've got a drink in my hand, and like I'm just good, you know, and I'm healthy and I'm happy. And all of my family and my friends are happy, and there's no war in the world, and everyone's just chilled the fuck out, and it's probably never going to happen, but I'd really like it if it did.
Positive.
So I'm going to aim to get there on that beach with like a pina colada in my hand.
You get there like just enjoying
in the
life.
sun with the love of my life, and you know,
great future. I want that as well.
One day.
Maybe we'll meet on
the beach.
Maybe we
will. Maybe I'll sell you a drink at my beach shack.
I'll sell you a drink.
And you sell me a t-shirt, you come along with your stores.
So that's a change life.
And I see you, fancy seeing you here. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll see you in Thailand.
Yeah, it's amazing. What is something that you've, I don't know, something that you believed before that you changed your mind?
Oh.
I don't know, it could be like about people or about like, I don't know, some like mindset you had, and now you're like, if you look back, you're like, I don't believe in that anymore.
Fantastic question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was me, it wasn't ChatGPT, I swear.
He comes up with his own questions, by the way.
I don't prepare
fully
anything.
Original.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think never judging a book by its cover is a very good rule to live by, whether that's a situation, a person, a book, something, you know? And I feel like, just always taking everything as it comes and seeing it as it is in that moment, and not having any like preconceived, built up things behind you.
Do you judge people?
No, but I think we all have our own prejudices.
Of course.
And I think they are quite built into us in society. And I think for me, like, I am a very open and loving person, and I will always stop if someone talks to me on the street. I will always stop and talk to someone. But when you do stuff like that, you sometimes have people who are walking past you giving you judgy looks because they wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
And I just think like people are so caught up in themselves that be a listening ear for people, you know,
yeah,
and like
you don't know what they've been through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
or what's brought somebody to this position for them to be struggling this much, and yeah. I don't really think that was a clear answer to the question, but I think that's where my mind wandered to.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, there's not clear, like, set answer.
No
right
answer.
Yeah, right answer. Like, you can just say whatever you want here.
Yeah.
What else I can ask you? Let me think. What is a mistake you've made in the past that in the end wasn't really a mistake, like it turned out to be like a valuable lesson? If you can think of anything.
Staying with people that weren't good for me for too long. Because...
As in
partners, yeah. Because you come out of it, and I beat myself up for it so much, because I was like, I knew that when I was in those situations, I didn't want to be in them, but I allowed myself to be in them anyway, because I felt like that's what I deserved, or I felt like that was what I thought love was supposed to be. So I thought I was receiving love, and you know?
Yeah.
And then I come out of it, and I've been so angry at myself for not ending things sooner. And then I realized, actually, this now means that anytime I'm in a future romantic endeavor, I will know when I feel like something's wrong, and I will do something about it.
Yeah.
Because I've now learned how much longer I'll get fucked up for if I keep allowing it to happen to myself. Yeah. So I think, as much as like it was a dumb thing to do, it was a massive lesson for me, and a massive, like, you know yourself now in this situation, and you know how you can handle it differently in the future for yourself.
Yeah, I think like sometimes you have to go through these kind of like relationships as well.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Exactly.
it's a toxic relationship, but it's but like once, I think when you are in it, it's hard to see like from the outside that you are like in a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like maybe for you it was hard to like let go.
Yeah.
Because you were in
and
it.
I think also a lot of other people, you have all of these ideas of what a toxic relationship looks like.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily shouting at each other or manipulating each other.
Yeah, it could be like...
It's sometimes you're codependent, and then one of you can't live their life without the other, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many, it can be so different. When people say things are toxic, you instantly think of like
jealousy,
a really abusive, nasty, malicious relationship, and that's not always what it is. But I think it's quite hard to see that a lot of the time until you come out of the situation. Take a step back. Yeah. Look at the severity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's love for you? Do you have a partner or?
I don't, but I've recently met someone who makes me feel very good about myself.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to you.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. And yeah.
Okay.
You can tell from my face.
Yeah,
I don't normally smile.
Yeah,
I don't really smile that much, but I've never met anyone that makes me feel this light and weightless and like a feather floating in the wind. Yeah. So hopefully that
answer.
That's love. Yeah. I think that's what it might be for me.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Like, I mean, you described. I mean, you're good. You're good. Come on.
It's also friends and family. I've never.
Yeah.
All the platonic love I've had in my life has meant way more to me than any romantic endeavor ever has. Yeah, my friends are the loves of my life. Yeah.
Shout out to them as well.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Love you. You know who you are. Real ones know.
You said like you don't really smile that much, and
yes.
Ask you why?
Yes, you can. So as I said, I've got autism, and that just basically means that I'm very monotone in the way that I speak and the way that my face is. So when I'm walking down the street, I won't be smiling. I'm just deadpan, you know. And then sometimes I'll bump into someone and they're like, "Are you okay? You look really moody." And I'm like, "Oh, hi," you know. And I don't. My facial expressions are very much like, if I'm suddenly really angry, you'll be able to see it on my face, or if I'm really disgusted, you'll be able to tell really easily. But I don't.
Good thing to have.
It is. It's good and it's bad depending on the situation.
People like pretend.
No,
like
neither do I. So I'm one of the realest people.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I do not have the ability to lie, and you can see everything in my face. If I try and tell a lie, you can see in my face that I'm struggling, and I know that I'm not saying the truth.
That's an amazing thing to have.
It is. Yeah, but it means that, if I'm just resting at home, I won't be smiling. So when I do smile, and it's a really big smile, you know, it's very genuine. But it also meant that when I was younger, a lot of the time, I think it's different now because I'm a lot more confident in the way that I am. But when I was younger, a lot of people would tell me I had a resting bitch face, or that when they first met me, they were really like intimidated by me, or they thought I was really scary because like I don't smile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so misunderstood.
And you kind of adapted to that in
a
way.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you got, I mean, like you're yourself, you're always yourself?
Yeah.
Or like you, I don't know, with certain people, maybe you have like a mask a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I think definitely in certain situations, I only really understood what masking and unmasking was about 2 years ago. And I slowly realized how much I was doing it in my everyday life without even realizing. And it's literally like having to relearn, like learning how to walk again, learning how to be myself without trying to make myself quieter to fit in for everyone else around me, and trying to make myself easier to be around for other people, or less just, loud and annoying and impulsive and restless. So I do smile a lot, but not instantly, you know?
When you want, when you really feel it.
Count how many smiles are in this video, guys. Say it in the comments.
I think we're like getting towards the end. Obviously, you knew you were gonna meet me here.
Yes.
First of all, you have any feedback from me?
Oh, there's a question.
For like, I don't know, the page or what you saw. If you don't give a fuck, you can say it.
Buy his stuff, because it's fucking cool.
Come on.
And he rules the world. I don't think so.
Okay.
Feedback.
What's you dropped your phone?
I know, I could hear.
You can
just leave it there. I don't need it. Throw it away for all I care. Advice? No, not advice.
It's okay.
Feedback. Great spot. Love this place. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, great spot to do it. I don't know.
It's okay. Is there anything? Obviously, you knew you were gonna meet me today. What did you think before coming here? Like, I don't know. I wanna talk about that, or like, I don't know.
No, I was like, I've got no idea what I'm walking into, but I'm very excited for that, and also quite nervous, as I am with every new interaction I have. But I was like, I'm really up for this. I think so far so good. You know? Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the brand.
Yes.
So I'm doing that. This series called like Tales of Bristol, because at first I wanted to share stories like of people like myself that moved from a different country to here to Bristol.
Yeah. And then you realise the entire rest of this country has also. We rarely meet a Bristolian in Bristol. I know.
And that's the beauty of it, in my opinion, as well. Like, shout out to all the Bristolians, of course, but I think like the beauty of that is you can find.
Thank you for letting us into your home. I'm sorry we gentrified the fuck out of it.
Come on, I came as an immigrant 10 years ago, just like working in a restaurant. But like, so the beauty of like this place, because like if you come from a place like Italy or Spain, this kind of places, it's really open-minded.
Yes. So I've got a friend who's Italian as well, and he said that was one of the main reasons he's been here for about 5 years as well. Yeah. And he loves Italy. Yeah. But he can't go back because it's so. Everyone is so open and understanding here, and even people who aren't necessarily really like liberal and woke are still accepting. Of course, you know, and that's not.
It's not like
it's not
where I'm from. So like when I came here, it was just like kind of like my mind was like so good to be true, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of share these stories of these people, and then also like the struggles of like being abroad, because obviously on the other hand you're like away from your family, from your friends, from your roots, and then every time you go back home, like your parents are getting older and older. So also that side. But now obviously a lot of people wanted to get involved, and it kind of it's stories about like, you know, that everyone goes through like something. Like, you know, everybody, like literally. And then
or that someone could scroll past this video and not look at it. But you look at it and you see so much about this person's life.
And a lot of people can relate to like, these stories, because maybe like, you know, some people go through different things, but like the emotions we all go through are kind of the same. You know what I mean? Happiness, like sad, like,
and I think
everything.
Even though on social media there's a lot of stuff about like be open with your emotions and, you know, talk about stuff with your friends, and, you know, like always have someone you can like talk to about stuff, don't keep it all to yourself. It's true, but I think there's a massive lack of stuff like this on the internet, of two people just sitting down and having a really real and raw conversation.
That is the whole point. I wanna like so I wanna do it in that kind of way, not like in a, I don't know, like I see like podcasts and stuff like that. It's like, you need to talk about your mental health, which is okay, but like the way they
I don't always want to talk about
I don't like that. I like, you know, to have a conversation with somebody, and then
if does something to your mental health.
And then like, you know, if we do talk about certain things, just because
it comes up.
We're having a conversation. That's it.
Because I think also there are a lot of people who don't want to talk about it, and you shouldn't
you should respect that.
You shouldn't like, what's it called, patronize them, is that the word? I don't know
the word, but
I need to read a dictionary soon. But they're basically just like, people are like, oh, why don't you want to talk about this? And it's like, rather than saying that, just be like, okay, what could we talk about that still might alleviate some stress from your mind, even if it's not the problem at hand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just maybe a conversation might help.
Exactly.
So I want to do that also, like through clothing, like telling stories, and then to remind also myself that it's gonna be alright. At the end of the day, like, you know, even if you go through, especially if you go through like these, like, I don't know, struggles and stuff like that, these kind of moments make you become a better person, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be alright. So before I ask you the last question, I'm gonna ask you another question. If you were granted 3 wishes, how would you use them for?
Okay, end all war, end all like suffering, if that's possible, in a way that wouldn't make more things suffer, you know? Number 2, get really rich, or not really rich to the point where I have too much money, but just
rich.
Have enough money to be able to give my parents the best next 40 years of their life until they die. The same for my grandmas, do that for them for the next 10 years. My friends, set them all up in houses, you know, like if I had enough money to do that, I would have a huge hotel, and me and all of my friends would live in it together.
That's super cool.
3rd wish,
anything you want.
To be happy.
So my very last question is, are you going to be alright?
Yeah. I'm always alright. This is the thing about me. Even when I'm not alright, I'm alright, mate. Are you alright, mate?
I'm alright. Super alright.
Good.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. It was fun.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks for your time. It was good. I liked it.